On August 25th, gamers from throughout the world gathered in Hampton, Virginia for a little event called Beast in the East. This played host to a plethora of dance game events, including 3 StepManiaX tournaments: Team Mode, Wild, and the Women's Division. With a staggering 42 entrants in Wild, including players from South America and Korea, plus several more in the other divisions, and a prize pool of over $1,800, this event was the place to be if you wanted to play StepManiaX with the best of the best. In no particular order, here are my top 10 highlights from Byte 6. If you know dance games, you've likely heard of Fifims before. He's one of the most accomplished Pump It Up and DDR players of all time, but anytime a player starts playing a new game, they will have to take some time to adjust to the differences. Luckily for him, it seems that most of his skills transferred pretty quickly. Even though it was his first time ever setting foot on StepManiaX, he managed to get an APC and tear through the Wild bracket. He was knocked into losers in pools by Talkion, but managed to push through several more sets before finally being eliminated at 7th place by Squid. Oh, and he also got first place in Pump It Up at the same event. He traveled a long way to show us his moves, and I hope we get to see more of him in future SMX events. The women's tournament is a fantastic opportunity for players who might typically be hesitant about competing to push themselves while in the company of similar players. We saw some great performances by players in the lower division, including Sega Genesis coming first overall with no scores under 94,000. But the thing from lowers I want to highlight most is the tournament buff experienced by player Rebs, who got her first ever single-digit perfect on High on Your Love, almost achieving a 6-star score. We all have goals to work towards in our dance game journeys, and to smash a barrier so hard in bracket is quite the accomplishment. These types of events are the perfect place to find growing talent, so keep your eyes on players like Rebs if you want to see the future of SMX. Step Revolution developers are particularly active in the community, especially compared to developers of most other dance games. But it was still a huge surprise when art director Lightning and major chartist J-Bean showed up at Byte's doorstep. They even jumped on commentary to give the inside scoop about charts, changes, and other SMX shenanigans. They also updated the cabs and gave Byte players a sneak peek at the next content pack weeks before it was released to the public. Charts weren't final and scores weren't saved, but it was still cool to get to play 7 Jump before anybody else. I'd like to see a Konami dev pull that one off. Talkion is a well-known player/chartist in the ITG community, but he hasn't played very much StepManiaX. That didn't stop him from doing exceptionally well in the Wild tournament, however. Not only did he manage to knock Fifims into losers bracket, but he also managed to knock out seasoned player and tournament organizer Jelly Slosh before finally falling to Hints at 9th place. This was all happening at the same time as he was pushing through the ITG Tech bracket to take 2nd place. If anybody embodies a true tech beast, it's this guy right here. In addition to testing a duo's synergy, Teams charts can also force players to move in ways that no other game mode does. In the very first round of the Teams tournament, every pair was forced to prove their coordination with some of the wackiest patterns the mode has to offer. Blow My Mind didn't hold back, with cross-pad crossovers, unprompted transitions, crisscrossing holds, and plenty of hands. Every twosome had their mettle tested by this chart, with no team even getting a 4-star score. So many failed the chart that some teams managed to advance to the next round without a passing score. It just goes to show that when 2-player charts are on the table, prepare to have your mind blown. Every SMX machine is a little bit different, and players naturally have to adjust to the differences when competing. However, players got more variance than they bargained for during the Wild tournament. During the top 16 set between Kev and Spencer, player one side on the stream stage started getting several held misses, all on the left arrow. Luckily, with so many seasoned dance gamers on the floor, there had to be someone experienced in this problem, and sure enough, McClouchick swooped in to save the day by performing some quick maintenance on the faulty panel. While it seemed to be fixed for a while, the issue reared its ugly head again a few sets later when Meister G and Squid faced off. McClouchick pulled back his sleeves and got to work again, and this time the fix stuck. Players and TOs have to be prepared for anything when dealing with arcade hardware, and the SMX players at Byte were lucky enough to be able to solve these issues without too many casualties. The players on other cabs were not so lucky. Squid is a well-accomplished player in DDR, though he hasn't played enough SMX to even be ranked in the top 100 in the Wild leaderboards. But that didn't stop him from absolutely smashing top 16, only ever dropping games to Paranoia Boy and ending up in 3rd place. And all this on top of blowing through the entire DDR tournament to take 1st place in that. If he ever decides to buckle down on SMX, top players need to look out for Squid.
Closing it out,
did
gets
it!
the 100.
Holy crap. When Dante packed up his streaming setup after day 2, it was looking like the women's tournament might not have been broadcast. There was just too much to do. But that didn't stop MCAT. On top of running both the upper and lower brackets, she managed to put together the right people and equipment to get everything set up for Twitch in the nick of time. She even managed to take 1st place in Uppers Division 2. Now that's a job well done. Team KDPN from San Antonio, comprised of DJ Pandaga and KD Waver, are no strangers to playing team mode in tournament. In the Winter Cup 2023, they came in 4th, with the song Arcade Run giving them the most trouble. But since then, they have worked on their coordination and footwork frequently, and it shows. In the final round of the team tournament, they managed to take the highest score on both their pick of Shiawase, as well as Arcade Run, giving them the redemption they worked so hard to earn. Their accuracy wasn't always as crisp as some other high-level teams, but their synergy was unmatched, which won them 1st place overall. If you want a pair of players to study high-level team gameplay from, look no further than Team KDPN. Both Winners Finals and Grand Finals were between top Wild Mode players Spencer and Paranoia Boy, ranked 2 and 3 on the Wild leaderboard respectively. Though Spencer took the Winners Finals set 3-1, the Grand Finals rematch was an absolute nail-biter, with Spencer taking the first 2 songs, but then Paranoia Boy bringing it all the way back to a song 5. In a finish that could only happen in SMX, both players managed to get a single yellow perfect, with the winner being decided by a single sub-window worth of points. And it was Spencer who came out on top, becoming the Byte 6 StepManiaX champion.
It was 1-1! It's the different window!
A single window separates.
Shoutouts to StepManiaX.
And that wraps up my coverage of Beast in the East. What did you think of the tournaments? Who do you want to see more of? And who would wipe the floor with everyone if they just swapped off some other rhythm game? Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more updates like this one. Peace!